Hello, it is Throwback Thursday, February 1st, 2024. Steve Sipress here with a blustery, windy, cloudy, type of rain clouds on their way day here in the Phoenix, Scottsdale area of Arizona. We always say here we need the rain. We love the rain because we'll go months without it. But it does put a little damper on things. However, really spectacular temperatures in the 70s, a little bit of a breeze, no sun bearing down on this beautiful day anyway. I was being interviewed today by someone who I've known for, I don't know, close to 15 years. And he started asking me for examples from all of the great irresistible offers that I've helped create for clients over the years. And then he asked me how I got started in direct or whatever. And I told him a story about my first multi-million-dollar business where I was one of the early inventors of the game of fantasy sports, fantasy basketball, baseball, football, etc. And he didn't know that. And man, it really hit me. I'm like, wow. Not just how does he not know that? Oh, it's if someone doesn't know your story, it's your mistake. I'm like, wow, what a mistake of mine that I don't tell that story enough. Okay, you've got to. It's a reminder. I wanted to float it out there to everyone. You're going to get bored with your story. You know it so well. You say it over and over, and you think everyone knows it, or you've got to tell your story all the time, even if people know it all the time. When I ran my Chicagoland Sharpest Entrepreneur Group, for instance, I had a monthly meeting. I called it a celebration. We were celebrating being entrepreneurs. And I did that for about 6 years, and I told my story, and I gave basically the same introductory presentation for about half an hour every single time. After about first few months or so, I must have given that 50, 60 times every single month. I had members who came back every single month, and I remember saying to a couple of my top members that were there every month, I'm like, I'm just surprised you're always here on time because I start off with the same presentation over and over that you practically know by heart. I'm just surprised that all my members, especially ones been here, all the time, that you don't show up like half an hour into the meeting because that I open up the meeting the same way with an opening and then a half an hour of my presentation for the new people. And I'm just surprised you don't come half an hour late. And I remember they said to me, all of them said to me, anyone I would say that to, they would say, yeah, but it's good to hear it again. And we just like seeing you presented. And it's just a reminder of the basics and all these kind of things. And so the light bulb goes off, and today it went off again. And I'm sharing here on Throwback Thursday because I was throwing it back to my very first multi-million-dollar business, how I started using direct response marketing back when I didn't even know it was such a thing, and I didn't know there was people doing it, and there were like general proven strategies and rules and principles about it. I just started kind of winging it, and from just looking around and being aware and seeing what was working in the advertising and marketing world just as a consumer. And when I ran my first ad, I had a killer irresistible offer, which instantly buried all my competitors. I mean, that's one way, by the way, that you can create an irresistible offer is look around, do some shopping, do some research, and look around at others providing a similar product or service, and whatever they're offering, offer 10 times as much. Sounds irresistible. I had, in my fantasy sports game, people were offering a prize of like, if you win your league, you win a t-shirt, you win a hat. Like back then, prizes were $10. I was like, man, let's give a trip for two to the World Series. That was my first ad for my fantasy baseball league way back in this for the spring. I ran it in January, starting in January of 1986, I believe, way back, almost 40 years ago. And I said, man, if they can give a t-shirt and people actually join their service and think that's a good prize, like, let's just run a headline, say, win a trip for two to the World Series, and holy cramoly, phone rang off the hook, sales came in. I was almost immediately the largest fantasy sports game company in the world. Officially, I got that designation after a couple of years at an annual conference early on, mid-'80s, back in the fantasy sports world days. And yet, there's tons of people out there that don't know that I did that and how I did that and blow by blow what I did to grow that company from scratch, from nothing, from my hobby in my final year in law school to turning it into a business, turning it into a multi-million-dollar business, and becoming the largest company of its kind in the world. All kinds of things I did. And today on this interview, the interviewee, which again, he knows me, and I've been to multiple events with him, hung out with him, for years and years and years and years. Never knew any of that. So just a reminder to myself, and I'm reminding everyone out there, all you business owners as well, you got to tell your story. That's a basic principle, and I clearly have been remiss on that basic principle. No matter how bored you think you are or you get with your own story, you got to tell it all the time. And if you want some help, because undoubtedly every entrepreneur has a great story. And that's one of the things I do for clients. I help bring out the story. Someone tells me, I ask, what's your story? Why do people call you instead of somebody else? I'll ask, well, I don't know. I guess I'm the closest, or, I don't know, or what. I pull the story. Every entrepreneur has a great story. So if you need help, go to my website, thewowstrategy.com. I got a video there to help you out with this. You can even get on my calendar to help you out a little more. Can't stay out all day, but I will help you out and possibly give you some more free training or resources to help you, because you got to pull a great story out of why you're in business, or why your business has grown, or how you've helped people, why you're the obvious choice for people to do business with you. And then you've got to craft that into a compelling story. And then you got to tell it over and over and over and over again. People love stories. They learn from stories. The #1 best-selling book of all time, the Bible, is basically a book of stories, because that's how we learn. We're conditioned as kids. What do people say when they're little kids? What do they say to their parents at bedtime? Oh, Mommy, Daddy, can you read me a story? Always tell your story. Make it compelling, step 1. And step 2, tell it over and over all the time. That'll do it for Throwback Thursday, February 1st, 2024. Having a beautiful evening here. Hope you are as well, wherever you are. And thanks for being here today, and I'll catch you tomorrow on Foundation Friday. Over and out. Bye-bye.